So the next shape, or the next quadrilateral we're going to look at is called the rhombus. And if you see, it goes back to parallelogram and it goes back up to your quadrilateral. So if we turn to the rhombus page and we look at properties of rhombi, first thing is that it's going to have all 6 properties of your parallelogram. And that family tree on the front shows you that. So then your 4 sides are all congruent. So now all 4 sides. So all 4 will have the same number of hash marks because they're all equal. So on your big picture over here, this one and this one, all 4 are equal to the same thing. If one is 10, all 4 sides are 10. Your diagonals are going to bisect opposite angles, which means when you have your diagonals, this angle is equal to that one, and this one and that one. Now your angles won't be the same from diagonal to diagonal, but when the diagonal bisects it, all 4 of those are the same. Diagonals are perpendicular bisectors. And just remember, the perpendicular can be notated with the upside down T, which means if we have our bisectors, in the center is 90-degree angles. And we need to go back to our big one on the other side and draw in. Here's my diagonals. They bisect opposite angles. So no matter what my drawing looks like, those 2 angles that a diagonal creates are congruent. And then in the center, all of these angles are 90 degrees. Okay, so let's put all that together and see if we can work out some actual problems. So look at the examples at the bottom, 5 and 6. Let's make sure we can all see them. So it says, if WXYZ is a rhombus, finding missing measure. So it wants to know the measure of XY. So let's look, XY is this side right here. So if we look, if this side is 27, this side's 27, this side's 27, and this side is 27. So XY is 27. It wants to know WP. WP, I guess I'll use a different color, is this part, which it's going to be the same as that one because your diagonals as part of the parallelograms are congruent. And then you have PZ. If we look at PZ, this might be where it starts to get a little tricky, but not too bad. If we look, this is a 90-degree angle, or not, sorry, which means that each of these 4 quadrants of your rhombus make a right triangle. So if we know that this side is 21 and your hypotenuse is 27, then they want us to find the yellow side, which is our x. So if we were to redraw our triangle, it's supposed to be a right triangle, this bottom part is our x, that's what we're trying to find. This is the leg, and then this over here is your hypotenuse. So I just redrew, it would help if you could see it, the triangle. This is the one that was just right there. So it all comes back to Pythagorean theorem. You can use that to solve. So 21 squared plus x squared is equal to 27 squared. So when you work all that out, you get that x is equal to 17. And looking at letter D, it says, what's the measure of angle XZW? So if this side over here is 51, then that means that this one over here is 51 degrees. So then looking, it says the measure of angle XWZ. So XWZ would be this larger angle right here. So we see that this whole angle, 51 plus 51, this is 102. These two consecutive angles are going to add up to 180. So 180 minus 102 is going to give you 78 degrees. So this whole angle is 78 degrees. These two are the same, so 78 divided by 2 is going to give you, oh sorry, when it XWZ, that's the whole angle, so you're done. 78 degrees. But then I guess the last one, Z, if I written over Z, Y, W, then it wants half. If this angle over here is 78, this angle over here is 78, divided by 2 is going to give you 39 degrees. So sometimes, like with maybe this angle, you start thinking, well, these characteristics above here didn't really tell me much. You got to start looking at the 6 properties of parallelograms. A lot of times that's going to give you your clues to help you solve for missing angles and sides. So let's look at number 6. It says if EFGH is a rhombus, find the measure of angle FGE. So measure of FGE is this angle right here. This is why I use highlighters, right? It makes it easier. FGH. That's the angle that they want. So if we look, it says my diagonals bisect opposite angles. Well, they gave me 2 angles. It's going to bisect it, so that means that 8x minus 49 is equal to 5x minus 7. So when we solve, we're going to add 49 to both sides. We're going to subtract 5x from both sides. So what you end up with is 3x is equal to 42. Then you divide both sides by 3. X is equal to 14. So it asks for angle FGE. What you have to recognize, once again, it comes back to triangles. Your rhombus is split into 4 triangles. All right. We know that this angle in the center is 90 degrees. Now, since we know F, we can put it in 5 times 14 minus 7. We know that this angle is going to be equal to 63 degrees. So to find the missing angle, I shouldn't have drawn that mark in there, that we want, it's going to be 180 minus 90 minus 63. So we get the angle FGE is equal to 27 degrees.